If you have the good fortune to visit or reside in Italy, Vatican City is almost certainly on your must-see list. Vatican City is a city-state bordered by Rome, Italy, and acts as the Roman Catholic Church's official headquarters. It is home to some of the finest luxury you have ever seen. What treasures lie in the closed walls of this sparkling city? Is it true that they are richer than every other organization in the world? Let's find out. But before we dive into this video, take a moment to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Now, let's get started. Vatican City, founded in 1929, is home to nearly 800 people, but don't expect to move there anytime soon. Only clerks, Swiss guards, and of course the Pope are permitted to live in Vatican City. The occupants are most likely the only individuals in the world who genuinely understand the secrets of Vatican City. And as inhabitants, they are perhaps the only individuals in the world who have the opportunity to enjoy the profusion of rare and expensive objects in Vatican City's secret rooms. The Vatican is the world's smallest country, with an economy and almost everything else about the country wrapped in a secret. Bankers estimate the Vatican's wealth to be between $10 and $15 billion. Italian stock holdings account for $1.6 billion of this wealth, or 15% of the value of listed shares in Italy. The Vatican also owns vast quantities of investments in banking, insurance, chemicals, steel, construction, and real estate around the world. Dividends help cover Vatican expenses and philanthropic initiatives, including nurturing 1.5 million children and supplying food and clothing to almost 6 million underprivileged Italians. Most people are unaware of how the city generates money as a sovereign city-state with its own economy, because the Vatican has revealed relatively little information about its finances and assets over the centuries. The city spans 110 acres and has a population of less than 1,000 people. Despite its small size, it wields enormous financial power due to its significant assets in the banking, real estate, and private sectors. Vatican City is one of the world's 7 remaining absolute monarchies. It is not only the world's smallest state, but also its richest, with enough resources to end world hunger twice. There is little doubt, however, that the church is one of the wealthiest institutions on the planet, thanks to its magnificent art, land, money, and global assets. The total quantity of church-owned land in the world, measured in square kilometers, would be an area somewhat larger than Canada's vast province of Alberta. The property includes Vatican embassies, churches, cathedrals, monasteries, schools, and convents, all of which are tax-free. The Vatican Bank also invested a staggering $10 billion in overseas enterprises 30 years ago. As if that's not enough, at least 1 metric ton of gold is stored in the deep vaults of this secluded city-state. After an investigation into money laundering, Italian officials seized $31 million from the Vatican Bank. Just in the United States, the church paid up to $2 billion in settlements for a number of allegations. Goes to show you just how much is hiding in their coffers. The Sistine Chapel demonstrates how difficult it is to evaluate all of this. Estimates for just this one masterpiece of a chapel can range from $400 billion to $2 trillion. The church also has a bunch of rare and expensive items, which would amount to massive amounts of money if it ever decides to sell them. Ancient coins. The Vatican, as its own city-state, issues its own coins and coinage, yet deep within St. Peter's Basilica is a lengthy secret compartment that only those with an approved letter, background check, and special code may enter. And in that extra secure area is a collection of truly ancient coins, which are so rare that they cannot even be classified as antiques or vintage. These coins depict the stories of life on Earth, ages and centuries ago. These are a coin collector's dream come true, yet just a few individuals have ever seen them. 80,000 handwritten manuscripts. The Vatican Library is a history buff's paradise. 80,000 handwritten papers from several lifetimes ago are included in their incredible collection of rare items. Several of these texts are nearly 2,000 years old. A meticulously handmade Bible is one example of such a handwritten document. The Bible was commissioned in 1476 by the Duke of Urbino, Federico da Montefeltro, and features genuine gold pages worked into finely handwritten font. 2 million printed books. While the handwritten manuscripts are an incredible addition to the Vatican's library's collection, there are also some modern pieces. Even though the printed volumes are newer editions, no citizen of Vatican City has access to them in the same way that you would at a public library. In truth, there are regulations that require the contents of the Vatican Library to be open for public viewing, albeit very selective public viewing, when they are at least 75 years old. Of course, there is one exception to this rule. The Pope may examine any of the contents whenever he wishes. After all, he is the ruler of Vatican City. This incredibly rare library is supposed to include books written in every language known to mankind. 70,000 pieces of art. We all know that the Sistine Chapel in Vatican City houses one of the most valuable and well-known pieces of art on its famed ceiling, which was carefully and masterfully painted by Michelangelo over a 4-year period beginning in 1508. Nonetheless, 70,000 other priceless works of art are safely stored within the Apostolic Archive, which is at a secret location in Vatican City. Only the Pope, like the books and handwritten manuscripts, is permitted to examine or borrow the artwork at his discretion. The rest of us can only speculate on the types of inspiring work that may be tucked away in the secret rooms. Now that we have digested the more elite assets of the Vatican, let's take a deeper look at just how much money is flowing in this empire. The Rothschild family is thought to be worth 5 times the total wealth of the world's top 8 private billionaires combined, but assessing the Vatican's overall wealth is far more difficult. In fact, determining the Vatican's wealth is nearly impossible because the number varies widely depending on how you add up their assets and ties with churches around the world, as well as who you ask. According to Forbes magazine's 1987 study of the Vatican finances, they claimed that the Vatican was virtually broke, spending about twice as much as it brought in. Forbes said that despite its magnificence, the Vatican is practically bankrupt. The Holy See, which is the church's administrative center and spiritual capital, earned $57.3 million in 1986 from sources as diverse as ceremony fees, income from publications, newspaper ads, and videocassette sales, and shockingly modest investment earnings of $18 million. In their opinion, with $500 million in investments, the Vatican has fewer financial resources than many American universities. This is difficult to believe when you consider the property's sheer material treasures, which include thousands of precious works of art and gold. The Vatican is divided into 2 parts, Vatican City-State and the Holy See. The Holy See is an independent sovereign institution that maintains diplomatic contacts with foreign governments and holds the Vatican City enclave in Rome as a sovereign territory. The Holy See, which employs several thousand laborers entrusted with maintaining and securing the grounds, as well as clergy, serves as the focal point for the Catholic Church worldwide. Notwithstanding the fact that its claimed labor costs are high, the Vatican maintains that its senior officials still work for peanuts. It seems like they would rather hide what is truly going on behind the scenes. In 2015, a CNN examination of the Vatican Bank indicated that the bank has more than $18 billion in assets, which includes the personal savings of many Vatican employees. Looking at the Vatican's wealth on paper that way is deceptive. Time magazine published an estimation of Vatican riches in 1965, estimating overall wealth to be in the tens of billions of dollars at the time. In other words, estimates vary widely, and current information on the subject is scarce. Another aspect to consider is the enormous value of the precious works of art kept in Vatican City. Assessing the monetary value of all of this is impossible, but looking at just one well-known prize, the Sistine Chapel, provides an idea of how difficult it is to appraise all of this. Regarding real estate values of properties held by the Vatican, a 2004 estimate claimed that the number was just under $1 billion. In summary, no one knows how much cash the Vatican and the Catholic Church control, and the organization's concealment and distortion of the facts around its wealth continue to lead investigators astray. The Vatican cash flow is in the hundreds of millions of dollars every year. Individual holdings in the Vatican Bank may total $15 billion. Property held by the Vatican may be worth more than $1 billion, and the Church has the world's largest stock of valuable art. It is by far one of the richest countries in the world, and that is all they want anyone to know. The mysterious country is unlikely to open up its borders for investigation anytime soon, but one can only imagine the kind of luxury its inhabitants enjoy on a daily basis. Would you like to visit the Vatican one day? Do you think they have as much money as we think they do? Let us know how rich you think the country is. We would love to hear what your estimates are in the comments.